Hey guys, again, Q122, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we went to that pawnbroker store over there, and we solved a little mystery over there. And honestly, after we got kicked out, I don't know what's in for us next, so we're just gonna have to see. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies, take stuff away from you. Oh really, Mr. Strayed? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the deal let me keep it. That's why I looked daggers in it for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scapper. Always pays off getting people to look like you ate them. Can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind? Music box disc? But Mr. Windybank said it was practically worthless. Think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long hard stare. I think not, Mr. Strayed. We shan't enter Windybanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windybank. That disc mine! And I had the ticket for this coat and it was in the coat's pocket. There should be something else and all. That's what the Rotten Cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too. Whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Mrs. Strayed, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Nota. Oh. Why'd I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And on one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mrs. Otto. Until later then. Just gonna check to see if there's anything worth observing at this area. Look at all the different things in the window of the shop. Ah, that's Windybank's pawnbrokery. Looks much smarter than the pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable, really. Pawn shops. That's just flat out me not seeing the right thing at all. Reminds me of tearfully parted with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Shum's office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Okay, there's not appear to be anything else. I'm just gonna double check. There's a hidden Mickey. Yeah, I guess we'll just Guess we'll just move back to Shom Suite, one of the two places. Ah, Susie and Runo! Come in, come in! Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am! I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Look at these little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't it exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Arcee's overjoyed at the idea. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering, am I right? How? How did you... Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book. Ugh, this girl's dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Alright, well. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after the trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There's so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Mr. Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Jane to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she does actually come. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mommy passed away when I was born. And around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh, wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mystery cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me that's when I found out the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, it must have done... I wonder what Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris's father, he went to some distant land as a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. The court will now hear trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Victim's name was Dr. Oh no. Oh no. No! No! Are you kidding me? I totally forgot! That sucks. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato? Yes? Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you. Hey, Mr. Sholmes! Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Ha! Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilded's disc. Oh my! Then, what's it doing here? Hehehe. You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be a pickpocketing assistant. And Runa could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. Right. Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting, she can write all our menacing crime notifications. Can we not do this? Yes, I'd be delighted. I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is McGill did down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did. But I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend to action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. That's amazing! The disc and all its minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting, the result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess, I was most curious to know what manner of music would ensue from the disc when played. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness! You don't know, Runo? Well, it was explained in last episode. Inside a music box is a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music box to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why, exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one's firm music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. but as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I'm presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's early for you. Always taking things too far. But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that's certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Madness McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of the otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault. What about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Bakersville story, Hurley? Or Baskersville? Oh, it sounds so exciting! The Hound of the Baskersvilles. I should love to read it. Ah! What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskersvilles? But how could you know the full title? Well, that's... That's because we decided I'm such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published. What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said that he kept it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript is in Windibank's. And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah! What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Mr. Strayed! This is a bad idea. I knew I won't welcome. I'm going. No, wait! Mr. Strayed! We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh yes, just wait here, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. I'm going to shoot you in the head. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Mrs. Strayed. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some medicine? I hope I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mrs. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine. And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin, even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, can I console you about something, I wonder? What's the matter, Susato-san? It's about the telegram I received. Ah, the one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? Telegram is from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh, no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth for? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends! Ah, Iris. Hello again. Oh great, now she's in our place. She's gonna steal our stuff. And Gina, too! Yes, Gina's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh? What in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I can earn a living from it. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I can't return this. Wait, what? That's mine! Oh my, however did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh yes, I've forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it though. Ah, thank you. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think it wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. Seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mantle script, or whatever you call it? Not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but... My daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner. Eh? They've solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So, I never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. I really do not want to do that! Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. I take it that's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean. Oh? How? I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it, and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I'd ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say, not now, so please, do not ask me. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. She is a child. It's mean, that's what it is. Keep its secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are too trusted for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us from the minute we're born. Not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, diving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all fought to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. Always thought it'd make everything right. But having listened to what Iris just said, sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh! I mean, if you know you never had them, you'll feel like you're always wanting to meet them. There's a better way to phrase that. It's true. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped the mantle script or whatever, right? Come on, that's obvious a load of rubbish. Oh my, how would you think that, Gina? It's simple. That store is really an old Windibank storeroom. There's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Ah. Sorry, Iris. If he asks me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Gonna do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. Just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that mantle script ain't at Windibank's. You'd soon see it if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. That's actually a really sweet moment. Oh my goodness, look at the time! Come on, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night then. Iris, it sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult, but deep down, she's still just a child. Well, I think it's time I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris' father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yuma University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris' room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe the girl's gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's... Oh no! It's simple. That store is really an old Windibank's storeroom? There's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, can know about it. Sorry, Iris. If you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once! Miss Susato! The door to Windibank's. It's open! And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. The game, perhaps? There's no one here. Oh, yes. There is. Whoa! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. But after them, go! Right. Blast! I've lost them. Hello, hello, what have we here? The alarm was just raised from the pawnbroker, sir. Did you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot? With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibank's.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo!
How bad is it?
Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!